Hi, my name is Amanda Sims. I have been a pediatric oncology nurse for the last 4 years, and it is truly one of my greatest passions in my life. I am a wife and a mother of 5, which is why I am recording this in my car. It's the only quiet place I could find in my house. Being a mom of 5 has actually enabled me to become a master at prioritization and time management. I feel like I manage very successfully to juggle 5 kids' schedules as well as my own full-time work schedule and my husband's schedule. We both have busy callings that we volunteer for in our church, as well as working full-time. It's really demanding, but I am very passionate about what I do, and I'm very driven, and I feel like a job done right is done the first time. I'm very passionate about education, particularly in the nursing profession and in the community. I feel like there is a huge need for more community education for public health. It is one of the classes that I really enjoyed in my bachelor's program. Some of my motivators to become an FNP are, first and foremost, my family. I feel like as a bedside nurse, I am able to be there for the most part for just about everything. But as an FNP, I feel like I truly could be there for everything. And I feel like I'd also be setting a great example for my children as to what you can achieve if you set your mind to it. My next motivator is truly my patients. I love my job. I love my patients. They are the greatest people in the world. And I feel like as an FNP, I could give them more and do better for them. Which, moving into my professional influences, my patients are probably my biggest professional influences. They are truly the most incredible people that I've ever known in my life, the patients and their families. They've taught me so much about who I am as a person, who I am as a nurse, and I've learned so much from them. And I feel like they truly deserve the absolute best of the best of the nurses, the best of the doctors, and we do have a really great team. In my practice, I have noticed a need for better approaches to integrative medicine and public education. I have had so many experiences with people at both ends of the holistic medicine spectrum, people that are all for it and people that are completely against it. And a lot of times their opinions are based and beliefs are actually based on things that are super biased or completely false. And I feel like there's such a need for continuing education in that area, community education in that area. When considering graduate school, initially I wanted to get a PhD. I really am passionate about education and teaching, and I thought that teaching nursing school would be a good fit for me. I also thought that I would love to potentially be a part of furthering pediatric oncology research. So a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the funding that comes in for research for pediatric oncology, or for oncology in general, actually, only 4% of that goes to pediatric oncology as a whole. That's every subset, every subtype, every category, 4%. Which is devastating because these kids deserve better. And I feel like if I was in that field pushing for that they could get better and we could do better. With a DNP, I realized as I was applying for graduate school that I could do all of those things as well as incorporate clinical practice, which is something that I'm super passionate about. I love bedside nursing, but I knew that it wasn't something that I wanted to do forever because I feel like I can make a bigger impact and have a bigger influence as an FNP. What I know about the FNP program is that it's a lot more implementing as opposed to simply research. As a teenager, I actually really wanted to be a doctor until I watched my grandfather go through leukemia treatments. As I spent a ton of time with him in the hospital, I realized the doctors come in and they're wonderful. They come in and they communicate, they come up with the plan, it's really good. But as far as the implementation goes, it's the nurses that did everything. And I wanted to be a part of that. I really so badly wanted to be a part of that. And so I changed my career path and I decided to go into nursing. And because of life and children and whatever, it's taken me up until, the last 4 years that I've been a nurse, but it's been some of the greatest 4 years of my life. I feel truly that my passion and my strengths lie in nursing. I feel like nurse practitioners have been bedside nurses before, so they've been there on the front lines. They understand a little bit more what it's like to be there with the patients, with all of the day-to-day things that they're going through, giving medications, explaining things to them, because a lot of times things don't translate into layman's terms. So nurse practitioners and nurses are really good at doing that. I feel like nurse practitioners are able to give a lot more comprehensive care. Not saying that doctors don't do a great job, because they do, but I just have a special place in my heart for the nurse practitioners that I've had the privilege to work with in my practice. The DNP allows me to learn by doing. This is one of the reasons I decided to pursue this degree as opposed to a master's or a PhD, because I love the idea of learning by doing. I feel like I learn better that way, and I feel like that's probably the safest thing for patients as well. If you're going to be doing something, it's better that you've done it than you've just heard about it. So I love the idea of learning by doing and more implementation rather than just research-based. I believe, or I know that the DNP is very versatile. The FNP is very versatile. There's so many different categories that you can pursue as a graduate. I have known FNPs that have gone on to become aesthetic injectors, and they love their jobs, are incredible at that. I have personally seen an NP that specializes in dermatology. I've also seen many family practice NPs when I've brought my kids in for well-child visits, and then I have the privilege to work with chemo and bone marrow transplant nurse practitioners. There is so many avenues that you can take this degree, which is one of the reasons I wanted to pursue it, because while I'm not quite sure where I want to end up, I do know a general direction, and I know that this degree will help me get there. I am so excited to apply for this, and I hope to hear from you soon.